unless you're talking. The other thing I have to read is the same as last month also. This is Ken Poisson, 6th District Councilman and Chairman of the Public Works Committee. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, we are conducting this meeting virtually on gotomeetings.com on May 4th, 2020. Quorum for this meeting is 4, which we have. In attendance are the following members. When I call your name, please say here. Laura Dancho.
Here.
Bill O'Brien.
Here.
Bill Perillo.
Here.
And myself, Ken Poisson. Also in attendance are Mo McCarthy, Director of Public Works. Mo, you're here?
Yes.
Margot Paquette, Council Clerk and Meeting Organizer, is on the phone. She's here. Aileen Marsh is our Recording Secretary.
I'm here.
And John Casey, Town Engineer. Are you on yet?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you, John. Okay, before I officially call the meeting to order, I'd like to remind everyone to please raise your hand if you're on video or ask to speak if you're on the phone. And when I call on you, each and every time you begin talking, you must begin by stating your name and title. This is per Governor Lamont's executive order, which allows us to have a virtual meeting. Thank you. Okay, the first item is to officially call the meeting to order, which I will do at 5:12 p.m. The second is the approval of minutes from our regular April 6th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Laura Dancho, District 10.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second, Bill O'Brien, 9th District.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item 3 is the report of the Public Works Director, Mo McCarthy. He emailed out that to us ahead of time, which is always very helpful. Does anybody have any questions for Mo? Hi, Caitlin.
Hello.
We're just on item 3, report of the Public Works Director, and if anybody had any questions for Mo. Okay, well, thank you for sending that report out ahead of time. Item 4 is the report of the town engineer, John Casey, who also emailed out to us ahead of time, but there is some action items that need to be taken care of. John, it's all yours.
The first action item is we had gotten proposals for updating our storm drain system map. There was a big range of the cost of the proposals, from $68,000 to $377,000. I've gone through all the proposals, and we're making a recommendation to go with a firm that has a local office, local presence in Connecticut, Langen Engineering, in the amount of $69,000. And this is to update the storm sewer map and the GIS system. And also we have a component in there that would update some of the sanitary, even though that's already been mostly done before, but part of that would be a sanitary, and we'd split that budget up accordingly. But the total contract will be $69,000.
And you need a motion for us to approve and send to the town council?
Yes.
Would someone like to make that motion?
This is Laura Dancho, District 10. I would like to make the motion to accept the proposal of $69,000 from Langen Engineering.
Is there a second?
Bill Perillo.
Seconded by Bill. Is there any questions for John on this motion?
When do they expect the work to start? This is Laura Dancho.
That'll be probably in June. If we get this approved by the council, we could get started right away.
Thank you.
Any other questions on this motion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. John, anything else?
Yeah, the next item I talk about in the narrative under item C, Stratford Avenue. It's a proposal for doing the next phase of the environmental work on the road construction project there, the intersection at Stratford Ave and Honey Spot Road. And this phase would actually be to incorporate into the bid spec the measures needed by the contractor to deal with environmental contaminated soil that he encounters during construction. This is the phase 301 environmental remediation work that the DOT requires. And the proposal from the engineer was not to exceed $7,000.
Okay, would someone like to make that motion?
I'm happy to make that motion. This is Laura Dancho, District 10, to proceed with phase 3 for the environmental remediation for $7,000.
Is there a second?
To move it to Town Council.
Second, this is Bill O'Brien.
All right, any questions for John on this motion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. John, anything else?
Nothing that requires action, but I just wanted to bring to your attention item G and H. Under item G, we've been applying for a lot of grants for coastal resiliency. And one thing that came to our attention was work that was being done down at the National Wildlife Refuge, the Stuart B. McKinney Refuge, the Great Meadows. And we contacted the NOAA who's doing that work on behalf of the Fish and Wildlife. And we're trying to get them to do some work that is compatible with a future coastal resiliency berm that we might put up there. And we've been working with them to try to get them to do it, and they seem to be willing to help in some way, but they can't commit to anything, especially since they have no details about what we actually want to do. So we're proposing that we have our consultant that was working on the coastal resiliency plan come up with some preliminary design work for that section, which is at the end of Long Beach Boulevard, adjacent to the marsh behind William B. Meyer property. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. We've asked them for a proposal. We'll get that to you when we receive it, but wanted to put it on your radar. And then the other item is we're moving forward to underground storage tank compliance. So we're having a consultant come in and look at where we are with our compliance on underground storage tank and our tank registrations, and coming up with recommendations on what we should do to fully comply with the underground storage tank regulations at Connecticut Deep, including which tanks we can leave in the ground for a period of time before we have to take them out, and which tanks we can take out or should take out. And I know Mo's been working on trying to eliminate tanks by converting the boilers to gas and eliminating the redundancy we have between gas and oil. So we're working on compliance there. Again, I just want to let you know we'll be having a consultant do that work. Really won't need any action, but just wanted to keep you abreast on where we are in that. And then if there's any other questions on the other items.
Does anybody have any questions for John? We're all set? Okay, thank you very much, John.
Thanks, John.
Okay, item 5 is new business. Anybody have any new business?
I do.
Caitlin, go ahead.
This is Caitlin Shake, counselor for District 2. My question is geared towards Mo. I had received a couple emails a week and a half, 2 weeks ago regarding residents here in District 2 who wanted to know what the timeline was going to be for Brewster Pond in terms of spring maintenance. Usually we have a cleanup of some kind in the spring for Longbrook Park. including the areas around Brewster Pond, but with everything that's been happening, we haven't been able to meet. And the question was posed back to the Director of Public Works so that we could relay that information out to the community. And specifically, they also wanted to know in regards to the algae project for the remediation, which was started last year, what the timeline of that would look like for spring into summer.
Well, before you answer, Caitlin, I just want to just technically for the record, this is just questions for Mo for Public Works. This isn't under new business, so this will just go under item 3. Just no big deal, but just technically where it falls.
Thank
Mo,
you.
go ahead.
Okay, first off, the aerators were turned on today. They'll stay
Correct.
on.
Thank you. Yep, we saw that.
The conservation superintendent is looking at the algae program. With the amount of money we spent, it wasn't that successful. We're looking for other products to get that going. But you do have to realize that like Moto Pond and Brewster Pond in some areas, it's strictly a drainage retention basin from stormwater. If you don't have a period of rain, it builds the algae right away. As soon as the rain comes in, obviously it washes it out. But we are investigating it, and I don't have an answer yet as to what we're going to do. But the superintendent is working on a product line to see if there's anything better than what we had.
Thank you, Mo. Is there a specific time of year, spring into summer, when it's recommended that the process be started, or is it just based on what you were talking about?
No, it's typically during the heat of the summer. You're building algae. If you don't get rain, it builds a lot quicker. If you do, then it gets washed away, and you're home free. But what we had for the chemical process wasn't all that great last year.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we're doing some research to see if there's any type of better product or better company on the market.
Thank you.
All right, Caitlin, you all set?
Yes, thank you.
And
Okay,
Mr.
item
Chairman,
6. Yes, Bill, go ahead.
Bill O'Brien, since we have a couple minutes, a couple questions came to mind for Mo. With the much lower oil prices, do we anticipate a savings on the resurfacing of streets?
Yeah, every week there's a price increase or decrease with the asphalt plants based on the price of oil. Right now, we're at our best price, but it goes a week at a time.
Okay.
So the quicker you get it done, the more you're going to save. We're working on it, and the problem is that there's only 2 companies that have asphalt plants, Tomaso or Tilcon and O&G. Either one of them are basically the same price, number one, and they go with the price increase or decrease every week. And number 2, even if we were to get a different contractor, we use Tilcon off the state bid list because they've been very good as far as applying the asphalt, and their prices are okay. Anybody else we use, there's going to be a markup because they're buying from either O&G or Tilcon. So you're caught between 2 plants. Period.
Right.
The price is about as low as it's going to be for this year, at least from what their people are telling us. And yes, we do realize a savings. Like last year, we realized a saving of somewhere around $50,000 to $80,000 because of the price of oil at the time.
Now, based on the weather, how soon can they start?
They can start right away as far as we're concerned, but the issue is the state of Connecticut has grabbed them, and they're doing a ton of work. So everybody's wiped out with equipment.
Okay.
We're on the schedule. We're on the schedule for I think the end of June, but that could move around based on weather or other contingencies.
And then one other quick thing, with all the buildings that are shut down, are we catching up on the backlog of work orders?
Yes, and then some.
Oh, good.
It's been very convenient. It's been very convenient, to be honest with you.
Well, thank you. And if there's nothing else, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, just note quickly, you skipped something, Bill. Thanks, though. Thanks for the expediency. But I just want to make sure, item 6, everybody knows that our next regular meeting has been moved back to Monday, June 1st. We had made it Tuesday, June 2nd because of the Mayor's Golf Tournament, but the Mayor's Golf Tournament has been postponed like everything else in the whole universe. So we're moving our meetings, our Monday meetings, back to Monday. So Public Works and Stratford High and Building Needs will all be on Monday, June 1st. Wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. Now we'll take Bill's motion.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. We are adjourned at 5:27. Thank you very much, everybody.